Today's daf is daf Samach Tes, and we're up to Gufa, 3 lines in the wide lines. Rab Krishpadoyi said that the window for Ben Seder Moira is exactly 3 months. And now we want to know, how do you get to 3 months? As the Gemara Gufa, let's analyze it. Amar Rab Krishpadoyi, Amar Rab Shapsi, Rab Krishpadoyi said the name of Rab Shapsi. We had a few times the name of Shapsi in Trust. Kol Yamav Ben Seder Moira, the entire window of a Ben Seder Moira, Ein Ela Gimel Chadashim Bulvad, 3 months. Under 13, you're not punished. Plus, we had the pasuk. Ben Liish has to be Samag Rosh Liish. On the other hand, can't really be Ish. Can't really be Ish. Then there's a very short window, and we said 3 months. And the Mishnah, it says until the pubic hair grows to its full extent. Says the Gemara, how can you tell me it's a 3-month window? Didn't we learn Mishiyovi Shtei Siders Vachi Yaakov Zaken? No, it seems it depends. Each person is an individual person. Some people take a lot longer than that, some people shorter. He gives, someone answers, you don't understand. He gives Zaken. If reach puberty, even though it's not 3 months, he's no longer a Ben Seder Moira. Or Molu Gimel Chadashim, if 3 months went by, Afagav, the lay he kept. Oh, we'll see in a minute. Yosef Rab Yaakov in the Hakbchoid Kamei the Ravina the Yosef we sat there come and said Moshe Rabbeinu but every sure Shmam Rabbi Kishor what do you look at because Loi Rab Shapsi you led this Lishiva. This is the word. The Kavazai's word is that not that when he becomes a father he can no longer be a Ben Seder Moira. The moment it's potential to be a father, we can tell from his wife. She's ready. You can tell that she's pregnant, and a woman who normally bears a child of 9 months, the third into the way, 3 months into the pregnancy, you can recognize. So he's already a potential father. So therefore, he's no longer a Ben. He's now an Av. Right, he's an Av. So there's 2 problems. He can't be an Ish, nor can he be an Av. And we're saying that an Av doesn't mean literally a father, it means a potential father. And that's why the window is only 3 months. So we're going to ask the obvious question. So it seems from here, some women do give birth in 7 months, but you're telling me that the window is always 3 months. That means even a woman who gives birth in 7 months, you cannot recognize a pregnancy till 3 months expire, not a third. That's the first question.
The obvious question is, what if he's not married?
Well, it doesn't matter. The Torah gives a rule. A rule goes, it's ubiquitous. It's universal. It's a rule. It seems from it says you're giving a standard rule. It seems if a woman gives birth in 7 months, there won't be a third of the days. It'll be only, again, 3 months. And what's the big deal? So it is. My nafkamina. The nafkamina is when if a woman, when she was married to a person, then the first person dies or divorces, she shouldn't get remarried for 3 months. Why? Because we want to be able to discern the child from the first or from the second. But if you're telling me that it's always 3 months, right? So let's say exactly she got married a bit earlier, exactly 3 months from when she divorced her first husband. What do you call it? She gave birth. You can recognize she's pregnant. We still don't know if it's the first husband and it's a 9-month baby, or it's the second husband and the 7 month. And because you're telling me that 3 months, what do you call it? You tell me that 3 months is when you can even a 7-month baby, you don't see it until 3 months later. Because if you tell me that a 7-month baby, then 3 months. So if she's married to the second husband, and what do you call it?
Like from 9 months, 3 months is a third. So do you say a third?
That's his question. That's the question. Is it a third, or is it 2 months? And is it a third, or is it always 3 months? Is it always 3 months?
If it's a third of 7 months, it will be earlier, and you'll have confusion. Whose baby it is, the first or the second?
Okay. And also, then the dimu should be that every single Ben Seder man, the window should be not 3 months, but 2 months and a third, because maybe there are some women who you'll see their pregnancy after 2 months and a third. So he's a potential father after 2 months and a third. So why are you giving a 3-month window? We should reduce it even to 2 months and 1/3. That's really the question. 2 months and 1/3. And so it must be that he holds that even a 7-month baby is 3 months. These are a third. 2 months and a third. Because there are some women who give birth in the 7th month, and the third of that is 2 months and a third. So therefore, it's a possible father then. And the Torah says Ben, and not if you're a potential father. You're right. But no, 2 months and a third. But we follow the majority. But in this case here, what are we doing by following the majority? We're going to be stringent. If you follow literally a third, then the window of a Ben Seder he'll get killed is only 2 months and a third. Now, because we're following majority of the women, we're going to expand it to 3 months. So we're going to use the majority to be machmir and kill him. So that's the question. I'm looking at the window, sure, I understand. The Bedin, the Fashim, we're going to follow majority in order to kill. I tell you, I'm going to shove to Ada, but see later. You have to go out of your way to rescue that and to try to save somebody. That I'm going to zil Basaruba and you go into Rav to go majority, they'll kill him. Now, everybody asks the question. This is Sanhedrin. Every bezin is 2 against 23. 13 against 11. We're going to kill. So we do have to majority. You don't need unanimous. In fact, unanimous is no good. We do have to majority. So Teresa Baba Kama says that by a bezin, the miyut keinenu. So there's a custom that there is no minority. When the bezin, the Torah says you follow the majority, over there the majority becomes absolute. That's why now I'll go say that I said this. I try to defend you and all the advocate on your behalf. Also, there's a difference because the Gemara Chul, if we'll talk about how you know Roy. There's a difference between a ruba de isekaman and a ruba de lesekaman. You have 9 stores that sell kosher and 1 store that sells treif, or 9 stores that sell treif and 1 store that sells kosher. These are, and then the din is that you follow the right, but you found in the street, then we say that machza. But if you bought it and you don't remember where you bought it from and you walked outside, I know I walked into a store, just can't remember. I was looking at my phone. I didn't have a chance even to look around, see what's going on. So then we follow the majority. Over there, and we learn from that's a ruba disa come on. So that's in one way, that's a very strong right because it's right here, it's a fact. Then you have universal rules. Most women give birth at 9 months. The woman that we're talking about, we don't know. This guy might not even be married. So we're talking about a general rule. General rules, that's a weak rive. A weak rive, how do you know that you follow such a rive? And we're going to be machman as a result. He said, what do you mean? We do that. Even these rules, I'll show you. But we didn't follow now. We learned earlier on. And that's mem. One witness said that happened. That's what happened the second day of the month. Almost said it happened the third day of the month. I do say kayemis. It's a validate this. Why either contradicting each other? Because we will say some people know exactly how many days Rosh Chodesh is. This guy knew that the previous month was 30, a full month. There's any day, and this guy didn't know exactly what the story is. But there are some people who do know. So we see we're following the majority, and we're going to use it to kill the guy. So we're going to say that the Eidim, we're going to reconcile the 2 testimonies of the Eidim and say, validate this. So let's say that maybe these 2 guys actually know that they contradict each other. Let's discount the entire Eidim. Elalab, isn't it? We do go after majority, but Ruba the Incha of the Tobi B'Riach. Most people do make a mistake in B'Riach. So we see we do follow the majority, even sometimes it harms the what do you call it? The alleged perpetrator. So the Gemara, often I'll prove it to you. We learn Bas Sholish Shanim B'Yemechot. You have a girl that's 3 years old, and one day that's when she becomes Roa Libya. Anything under that, then we say they know her hymen comes back, her psula come back. Only over 3 years old, we say that she is Roa Libya. And therefore, we had this before as well. Miskadesh would be if the father married off the Mahatayra, she is married with that bia. Only the father, the mother or the siblings, it's only with the Rabban, and she does me and she just walks out. But the father marries her off, she's a full-fledged girl. The husband can yashner her, if the husband's a kohen, he can be metami to her. And then further, the imbar yavam, and if a yavam, her husband died and she's 3 years old plus, and the yavam brother-in-law comes in, Kana, she's married to that brother-in-law. There's a machlekes, or there's actually different Rashis, where she occurs a divorce. Sounds like she gets a divorce even when she's 5, 6 years old. In other places, Rashi says when she becomes bas mitzvah, in other words, he's kind of her, but the mitzvah of yibum doesn't take place until she's an adult, over 12 years old, because she's under bas mitzvah. So there's a machlekes whether she can receive a get right over. She's a full-fledged. She fulfilled the mitzvah of yibum at the age of 5, and if she gets,
or is it different?
It's a different idea. Another yes. He's giving her back to herself. There is another contradiction in Rashi's whether the father accepts the get for her, because if she's under 12 years old, how can she receive the get? It must be that the father receives the get. But in other places we say that once she's married, she left the father's domain. The father no longer has a right. The father only has a right while she's engaged, and then she gets divorced. The father takes it because she still goes back to her father's house.
If she's a fan.
But once she's over that, So the either would say that the different Rashis contradict each other. One so much she only got engaged and the father takes the get, but once she got married, she left her rishus. Or someone says it's different than a Tan and a Naira. A Naira once if she got married, the father and then gets divorced while she's still a Naira between 12 and 12 and a half. The father has no rights, but a Tana, even after the marriage, the father still has the rights. According to some. She's a married woman now, even though she's only 3 years old. If somebody commits adultery with her, they're going to get killed. Umetam is boiler, and if she has relations with the husband and she's a nidda, if you touch a nidda, you only tummy till that night. But if you're boiling it, if you're then you tummy 7 days, and if you're lying in the top mattress, the bottom comes equally tummy. All those didn't, because she's considered, as far as B is concerned, though. The tummy mishkatachtin kelly in the bottom mattress to the top mattress. Nisas the coin married a coin. Betuma she can eat truma. Again, if the father's one who got her engaged. And look, because we know that a girl cannot eat truma while she's still living at home. She has to go and marry the husband and have a chuppah, and has nothing to do with bia. The moment they go into the chuppah, she's and even so. So this 3-year-old girl under 3 is like a chuppah, no, but it has to be roll a bia. So and this girl, once she's 3, she's roll a bia. If she lived one night with her moms or whatever it is, she can no longer marry a kohen, even though she's only 3 years old. Any of the rois, including those via marriage. Yeah, her husband's father, her father-in-law. Mumsin Aleh, get kid because of her, but the heap tutor. In all of these things, she's again for obviously because she is under bas mitzvah. Now the question is, why are we killing all these people? Right, women are considered married. What happened to that she's barren? What happened to her she can't have any children? She's an islandess, and she's so young. Hard to tell at this stage of her life what she's going to turn out. And yet, if she's 4 years old, had a relation with her father-in-law. We're going to kill the father-in-law. Why don't we say, let's wait and see what happens, how she develops? Because if she's an islandess, then the whole condition falls apart, unravels. He never wanted to marry a woman that can't have children, that has all these male signs. Is an ayah that will follow the Rav even when it comes to kill someone. No, there's no marriage. We say that the whole marriage falls apart. That the first marriage, Reuben was married to turned out to be an islandess, the condition twice, unless he knew it was an islandess. That's why it's Mekatos. If he knew that she was an islandess and he accepted her, then of course she married.
The brother have to
yeah.
That's the point.
So then we talk about that when you talk about it, she's chalitza or not. But if she was never married, if the whole thing turned out to be and you're right, there's no. But islandess doesn't have yibah chalitza. But there's no marriage. But this girl now, we're saying is fully married at the age of 3. How can he kill some father-in-law? Maybe if I won't be married. But my aim, but I didn't know Kaddish, never would have married her. We say we follow majority, but if not, not majority. My carbon. We're talking about a shaygin, and they didn't know there's usher, whatever. So therefore, you only bring a carbon. So how can you say that? It says clearly we killed on her back. Oh, that's a ball of via. That her father's related incest. That's irrelevant whether she's whether marriage was a marriage or not. One of the rights, including those by a marriage, like a father-in-law. That's not right. Maybe he said, I love this 3-year-old girl, and I don't care. It turns out to be an islandess. I want to be married to her. So then she's married. Those are promiscuous. If not cutting a mother who has incest with her younger son, the Hedaba, and he started having relations with her. Remember, Hedaba means either just coming in contact with a male member or actually penetrating. Beit Shammai says that he parceled his mother from Kahuna. If let's say the husband died, she cannot marry a Kohen because she's doing an Aveda. And Basil Machshin, and what age we're talking about, we'll see in a minute. He said nothing really happened here. It's not considered as if there was a relationship here or any intimacy. Yeah. So the Gemara. Bechia said, but I'm talking about there's no witnesses here, no warnings, so therefore there's no miss involved. Everyone agrees. Ben Teshav, this boy is 9 years old. 9 is expression throughout Shas. We say 9 in a day, but we just mean 9. And the machlek, some people say 9 days means literally 9 year, whatever it is, like a full day, 24 hours into it. Others at the beginning of the night. In fact, that's why the first Masechta in Shas is brachas, because the first mitzvah that a bar mitzvah boy has is saying Krishma, because as soon as it becomes full, night falls, he has the first mitzvah Ma'atayda saying Shema. That's why we start with Be'im and say. 9 on a day should be also be that word that is considered intimacy. If he's under 8, nothing happened. What's the argument of Bashama Basil? The Ben Shmoin, an 8-year-old boy. The early generation, I'm going to prove it to you soon, an 8-year-old boy was able to procreate. And Basil says, you can't learn from the past, because that was unique. Either they had Siyata Shmaya, like some Rishonim said, they able to help them out, or their body, their constitution was different, the nature was different, or these are the exceptions, and we can't make a rule out of exceptions. The Doidus of Rishonim, how do you know the early generation? The 8-year-old boys were able to already procreate and be progenitors. The oilet that he can give birth. Because before we said that under 13 you can't give birth anymore. But we're saying Amol, they used to give birth at 8 years old. How do we know? Elaine, when we see the following, it says we can now trace the history of Shlomo HaMelech. Bathsheba. This is Bathsheba, the one who ended up marrying David, was married to Uriah Hittite. She was the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Aish's Uriah Hittite. So now we know she's the daughter of Eliam. Okay. Who's Eliam? Eliam was the son of Achitophel Hagoyoni. He was the son of Achitophel. Okay. So now you know Bathsheba was the granddaughter 2 generations after Achitophel. Sorry?
Sorry, I just lost the
We're talking about how do you know that an old generation, 8-year-old boy is already procreated? So we have Bathsheba was the daughter of Eliam, and Eliam was the son of Achitophel. Fine. And now we're going to work out the ages now. Vayishlach b'yad Nosna Navi, vayikra Shmoya, then David Melech set in the hand of Navi. Because Bathsheba is a girl and Eliam is a boy.
Liam Aishas. Liam is the wife.
No, Bathsheba was the wife of Uriah Hittite.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, and Eliam was the son of Achitophel. Then it says, "Vayishlach b'yad Nosna Navi, vayikra Shmoya Yedidia." David Melech decided he wanted to call his son Shlomo HaMelech with Bathsheba Yedidia. Because of Hashem, he thought Hashem loved him. Uksibit says, okay, it was 2 years into Shlomo's life. It was 2 years into Shlomo's life, and Avshalom, they were sharing his wool. He made a big party. Uksibit says, Avshalom fled, 3 years. So now Shlomo is 5 years old. He was 2 at the time when he started with the hearing that, he tried to rebel against his father. Another 3 years, 5 years old. And then Avshalom came to Shlomo. He sat there for 2 years. That makes him 7 years old. Shlomo now is 7 years old. Okay. Shlomo now is a 3rd generation of Achitophel. Right? Shlomo ben Bathsheba ben Eliam ben Achitophel. And Avshalom did not see his father. It says that he made Kates at the end of 40 years, the 40 years from when the Eden asked Shmuel Navi won a king, he tricked his father saying, I'm going to go give me some Sanhedrin, I'm going to fulfill my neder. They made a promise of Chevron, that's how he got the Sanhedrin coming in. It says, and that's when he rebelled. Shlomo was 7 years old, and Achitophel, so his advice wasn't taken, or it wouldn't work out because he supported Absalom. He saddled his donkey. He went home, and he gave the last will and testament. He committed suicide. It says, there's evil people, they only live half of their lifetime. A person lives 70 years, that means they only live 35. How long they live? Tanya who rebelled, 34. And Achitophel, who also committed suicide, so how old was Achitophel when he died? 33 years old. Now, but Shlomo at that time was 7 years old. So now let's start working out. Take off 7 from 33. That means that's 26 years. 26, right? Partially that, but that means that Achitophel was 26 years old when Shlomo was born. What do you have left? 26 years. Now we know that every woman is pregnant. The minimum is 7 months to bear a child, and then you need 1 month to be tara before you can have relations with your husband again. This 30 for a boy. This
40 days.
Exactly. So you have a bit over a month that you can't be together. So you work it out. There's basically 8 months times 3 is 24 months. 2 years they couldn't have relations. So out of the 26 brings down to 24. And you had 3 generations. That means every 8 years they gave birth. So it shows that an 8-year-old can give birth. 3 pregnancies. They gave birth at 8 years. So how do you know? Maybe it's 9 years, like we said before, 9 years. But one of them was a girl, and a girl can give birth much younger. A boy we're talking about that the semen should be able to procreate, but a girl much younger. So Bathsheba might have been, maybe there were 9, and Bathsheba was 6. We need to get to number 24. So make 9 and 9 is 18, and then Bathsheba was 6. Oh, she gave birth. Vilma Tavai B'Teisha Oile, they both gave birth at 9 years old. Ubasheba, and the one generation between is a girl. Oile the Bashir 6 years old. But Mishum the eats a body. A woman is stronger, considered stronger than if she's able. And not only that, furthermore, tell you that even if you want to learn that you're saying each one was 8 years old, Shlomo wasn't the first child. Tell you that the Havel of Vlad Mi'ikara, she had a child before in the Tanakh, and he died. So that means she gave birth when she was younger than 8 anyway. You have to say that she can give birth younger than 8. So say she gave birth at 6. According to this, then, and David lived 5 more years after the story of Avshalom. That means Shlomo HaMelech was 12 years old when he became the king. There's another verse that says he was 20.
He was very young when he died.
70. But Shlomo HaMelech was 12 years old when David HaMelech died, according to this calculation in the Gemara. The only problem is, how did Bathsheba, Uri Achiti gave a get when he went to the army. That's how David HaMelech was able to marry Bathsheba. But she was a Ktana. How was she able to receive the get? How was she able to receive the get? Someone to say that she was only engaged to Uriah Chiti, and engaged, and the father can receive the get on her behalf. It wasn't married. The one says, "Okay, right, I'll bring you another proof." The interesting proof. You never thought about this. This is the generation of Terach. Terach was Avram. Terach was the father of Avram, Nocher, and Haran. We'll assume Avram is the oldest, Nocher second, and third. And Avram, Godel, and Nocher, Shana, we'll assume he's a year apart from each one. An average. He's a year older than Nocher, Godel, Haran, Shana. Nimsa Avram, Godel, Shlei, Shana, so Avram was 2 years older than Haran. We see it said, Avram and Nocher married and the man with 2 daughters of Haran. And the two Avi Milka and Avi Yiska. Right? Haran was the father of Milka, who married Nocher, and the father of Yiska. And who was Yiska? Sarah. And Avram married Sarah. And Sarah Lama Nikashwa Yiska. She said, listen to her. Everybody just kept on looking at her and mesmerized by her beauty. Okay, so what does that prove? See, it says when Abraham was told that they're going to have a child at the age of 100 and Sarah was 90, he laughed. Now, Sarah was 90 and Abraham was 100. So how many years apart were they? 10. But Sarah was a daughter of Haran, and Abraham was 2 years older than Haran, which means that Haran was 8 years old when he gave birth to Sarah. Clear. How much older Abraham Sarah? 10 years. Because she's Ma'avu Tadish, and he was 2 years older than Haran. The older Haran, when Haran gave birth to Sarah, he must have been 8 years old when he gave birth to her, because Abraham was only 10 years older than Sarah. Says it's talking about why did you decide Abraham was oldest? Maybe maybe he was the youngest. And therefore it was, and even though he's 10 years older, but he was the youngest brother. And Haran gave birth to Sarah when I was 20 years old. Why is Avram being mentioned first? Because he's the most distinguished, most eminent. I'll prove it to we do that sometimes. The we can't by Chachma. We found it in the Chumash we had by the daughters of Slavchad, but the Gemara didn't prove it much earlier in the Chumash. He Noach ben Chames Meyes Shana. Noach is 500 years old, and he gave birth. Noach and Noach gave birth to the following. He gave birth to what do you call? Noach ben Chames Shana. Noach Hashem Cham and Yafis. Right? Sounds like Shem is the oldest. Mecham Shana, Mecham Gadol Meyavashana. The same logic. So Shem is the oldest. Nim to Shem Gadol Meyavish Teishanim. Shem is the oldest, older than Yefes 2 years. Uksiv, and it says another pasuk. When Ben Sheish Meyashana B'Mablo Yimai Malor. It was 100 years. Then he waited for the Mabul. Uksiv, and it says Eila Toila Shem. Shem's birth. Shem Ben Ma'as Shana. The Shem was 100 years old. He was 100 years old. 2 years after the Mabul. If Shem was the oldest, and Shem was born first, it would have been 102 when 2 years after the Mabul. Then Meir Shana Bar Meir Tatish he would have been 102 years old because Shem was the oldest. Shem mentioned first because he's the most distinguished. So that doesn't prove that he was the oldest. Takes as a question: if it's going to Chashav, then why is Cham in the middle? Cham is the lowest. And he remains the question. I told this over to Zid. You bring the proof from there. And we bring a proof, the same idea of Shem, but from a different passage. It says the Shem Yulad Gamhu Avi Kol Bnei Ever, that Shem gave birth to all those on the other side of the river. Achi, the brother of Yefes Hagadol, of the brother of Yefes, who was the older one. So it's clear that Yefes was the older one. Must be that Shem there was mentioned first because he was the most eminent. So how do we talk to know that 8 years old? We know from the following. Bitzalel was the son of Uri, the son of Chur, Lamata Yudah. Chur, as we'll see in a minute, was the son of Kalev. So Kalev, Chur, Uri, Bitzalel. Betzal was bar mitzvah when he was instructed to do the Mishkan, and 40 years old at the Chanukas on Mishkan. And so what? I just follow. See, Thomas Azuva, Kolav had a wife called Azuva. In fact, we had more tinies that Azuva might be Miriam as well. Vayikal the Kolav is Ephras. He took Ephras, which Ephras is Miriam. And we said then that Miriam was very ugly, and he took care of her, he nursed her, and she became very pretty. But Taylor and Chur. So Miriam and Kolav had a son called Chur. Okay, and now let's work out all the years. How old Betzalel made the Mishkan? Bart Place was 30 years old. He says Ish. You know that Ish is 13 years old. So Betzalel was 30, but we know that the Mishkan, the Chanukah, the Mishkan was the following year. The first year he made the Mishkan, and Shniya Heike Mishkan. Second year they set it up. And Beshalach Managim, it all happened the second year. And it says, Kolav says, how old am I in the second year? Ben Aboim Shon Alechi. Beshalach Moshe Eved Hashem. I was 40 years old when he set me on Meraglim. Now he's talking times Yeshua, I'm not 85. So if Kolav was 40 at the time when his great grandson was 13, so work out the years. Kama Havala Aboyin 40. Dala Besa the Havim Betzalel. That year Betzalel was 14, so at least 28. Partial Esrim is 26. Sorry, 26. Dal Tatishni, take up 2 years. We said that in between, while she's Tameh, the Tlasi Ibudi. So there's only left 24. And he had 3 males. There was 3 males. There was no girls in between. There was exactly. Each one gave birth when they were 8 years old. And let's just quickly finish. Exactly. Let's just finish the Mishnah. Ben Lebas, a son and not a daughter. Tanya Bedinu Shnei Bas really. Why should only be a son, not a daughter? In fact, a daughter is even worse because if she runs out, the boy might go out and kill people. She might become a harlot, and she will get people to do avedas. Especially if she's a married woman and she needs money on the side to be able to steal, so she'll do aveda varoyas and cutters and everything else. Who knows what she'll do? There's a custom of Ben Lebas. There's a custom. And the Rambam adds that girls generally are not gluttons to eat meat. We'll see later you have to eat that whole meat in one go, in one bite, and very interesting. We'll continue tomorrow in Mitzvah Hashem. Have a good day.